Playoffs? Big red lips and long blonde hair. Boom. Woo! All right, how you doing, folks? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report for a Thursday, October 13th. Hope you have yourself a good start to your Thirsty Thursdays. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner, or hit the subscribe button below this video if you are using a mobile device. Today's podcast is brought to you by your friends at housekeeping.com. Sign up today and follow the top hockey pickers right here at housekeeping.com. Yours truly, another good night last night, went 4-2 at housekeeping.com, and you can follow always the top pickers each and every day right here at housekeeping.com. Starting next Tuesday, bballpicks.com. If you like playing the basketball, bballpicks.com is where you want to make your hoops picks, and hopefully you will sign up for basketball starting next Tuesday. Also, we got parlaycalculator.com. If you go to the parlay calculator and you say, you know what, if I'm going to play a 3-team parlay today and I'm going to take all underdogs, how much is that parlay going to pay? So let me go here. Let's say I got a 150 underdog, a 170 underdog, and a 220 underdog, and I put let's say I put $50 on a 3-team parlay. Well, you click on calculate and you can see it pays $1,000 and $1,030, and you can use this each and every day at parlaycalculator.com. Season number 11, the World Series of Handicapping Pro Football Contest. All you got to do, if you want to play, a new week starts today, Thursday Night Football, and you can still, even though you haven't signed up at the beginning, you can still win a weekly prize. Go to worldseriesofhandicapping.com. Enter your picks, 7 units to 1 unit, rate those 7 selections, size your total, and if you can win the week, you will win a free 1-year membership right here at atsstats.com. And lastly, ATS Calculator. Speaking of more calculators, hey, how do the bookmakers get that number? And if you're going to play the Thursday Night Football game tonight and you're wondering, you know, what's the real line? Remember I talk about perception versus reality? What is the perception going into tonight's game, right? Well, according to the bookmakers got tonight's game as a pick'em, and they got the over-under listed right now at 38. And let's say we go to the calculator and we go to NFL and we do Washington against Chicago. Survey says we got Washington, the Commanders, winning tonight by 1.37 points, and the over-under landing over the total at 40.48. And that, my friends, is how the ATS calculator works. Check it out today at atscalculator.com. All right, good morning, good afternoon, and good night wherever you are in the World Wide Web of the internet. Hopefully you're having yourself a good top of your morning. My name is Ron Raymond, a 5-time sports handicapping champion based out of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Yeah, that crazy Canuck above the 49 parallel, and it's a rainy day here in the nation's capital. A little cool too. I think it's no, it's not bad actually. It's 14 degrees. Hey, still can get that golfing weather, but you know the thing about golfing at this time of year is you better be straight in the fairways, right? You don't want your ball going into the rough or even to the sides. All the leaves falling here, you're gonna lose your golf ball, right? That or you bring a lot of golf balls. But it's 14 degrees though. It's a nice day in the nation's capital. In the temperature-wise, heat, rainy, not so much. We're going to get a lot of rain here today, and hopefully it's raining W's where you're at. And big win last night for the Montreal Canadiens. Yeah, hey, that's the way you want to start a NHL season in front of your home fans. A little long of a introduction ceremony, but it's Montreal. The one thing with the Canadiens, it's like the Yankees, right? If you look at the storied franchise, Montreal is right up there with the New York Yankees. And big win last night for the Habs against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And you know that always makes me laugh and smile, hey, because I'm an Ottawa Senator fan. Anytime we can beat the Leafs, you know I'm a happy guy, right? Sorry, Bo Jackson, I know you're a Toronto guy, but I'm an Ottawa guy. It's all fun and, you know, it's all for fun and giggles, right? But yeah, big win last night. Had the Habs on the puck line. Had the Rangers the other night, so I'm 2-0 to start the NHL season, and hopefully we can keep her going here today. All right, got a great show lined up for you guys here today on the Raymond Report. We got Ross the Boss Benjamin from RBWins.com. You know what? Ross is absolutely killing it this year in NFL football. If you haven't followed Ross's NFL plays, you want to get on these plays because he is absolutely crushing it. He had the Raiders on Monday night. He had Cincinnati. He lost with Washington. I think that was his only loss last week. And, a game he could have won, right? I had Washington too, but we lost that one. He had the over in the Bears, Buffalo. Ross is absolutely killing it in NFL, and I can't wait to talk to Ross the boss at the top of the hour. And you know what? Ross comes with a lot of experience, a lot of pearls, and we'll see if we can get Ross going today. It's always fun to get Ross a little animated. Hey, makes for, as they say, good for radio, good for a show, but hey, it's just the pearls, baby. That's what we want to do, bring you guys a lot of wisdom and a lot of pearls to the show. And this way, you go into the weekend with a lot of confidence and you feel like Ric Flair, right? All right. So I want to say good morning to the bullpen. All rise for F. F is in the house. First one in. F for first, right? Hotlanta in the house. Hope everyone is doing well and ready for the pearls with Coach and Ross the Boss Benjamin. Hashtag chop on. Rise and grind. Yours truly said that. Brent Vianney. Good morning, Brent. Morning all Baylor, Toronto, 2-team parlay. Telly's in the house. Top of the morning to Telly. A nice little sunshine right there with the Telly icons right there. Scott Champion's in the house. Good morning, Scotty. Who's Mizzou? The network. Hey, they're always good. Always good to have the network back in the house each and every morning. And F says, team, it was raining in Atlanta yesterday, and Braves followed up with a shutout victory. And there's the old pose right there and a thumbs up from F for fantastic. All right, so I see the bullpen is slowly trickling into the bullpen, and the bullpen is what we call our chat box. And I think it's time for a roll call. I think we haven't had a roll call in a long time, right? So basically, a roll call is if you're a first time, long time, you watch the show, and you're just like, you know what? I'm one of those guys or girls who I like listening, but I don't really want to partake. Just give us a hey, how you doing? Watch the show, first time, long time, and would love to hear from you guys, especially the newbies, right? We want to get some newbies into the show, and it always makes for better engagement. Speaking of engagement, I'm gonna have to put on my thinking cap this weekend. Got to get more participant action, more engagement from the audience, right? I know I feel like a talking head here sometimes. That's what happens when you're a one-man band. But I would love to get more feedback from the audience. The more feedback you get, the more fun, the more wittier people get. The more, hey, I love one-liners, right? We need people with some good one-liners. Like Mark Nason's got some good one-liners sometimes, and he gets dilly. Yeah. Morning, Mitchell Watson. Good morning, bullpen. And so great show lined up. And you know what? Let's get after it right now, because Ross the Boss will be here top of the hour, and I don't want to be sitting here jibber jabbering for an hour, for a half hour. Next thing you know, we're still in the horse racing section. All right, let's get to the top golden rules of the day, and that's the rain report. And if you follow the rain report, you know I'm all about the fundamentals. Hey, our EDDs, as I said. Speaking of EDDs, I haven't seen Bien Trabajo lately. Our DB from went to Iowa, was it Vandals, Idaho? All right, so let's talk about value, percentage play, performance cycles, player availability, money management. Those are in a nutshell. That's basically sports betting right there. If you're thinking about, if I'm gonna make a pick, what's my fundamentals of my pick? If I'm looking at my pick and I'm saying, okay, and the thing is, and I know it's not a cash out Monday, but we're trying to get you there, right? We're at the 3/4 pole. We're going down the stretch. We're trying to get you down to the wire on Monday so you can do a cash out Monday. And when you're looking at your pick, take a look today. And here's the thing. I love this section. I love starting the day with this. You know why? Because it brings us back to our fundamentals. Because how many times you make a bet the next day, you're like, what was I thinking? Why did I make that pick? Like my Dodger pick last night, right? Ooh, yeah. Hey, Dodgers.
How about our offense? When are we going to put it together?
Yeah, put it together. It's the playoffs. But when you look at your pick and you say, okay, do I have value in this selection? Yeah, I got value. Is the percentage play in my favor? Yeah, it's in my favor, not the bookmaker's favor. The performance cycles, is there streaks? Are there other intangibles that are in my favor? I call them the performance cycles. Player availability, I don't care who's injured. Next man up, next person up, who's available to play. And money management. How much money am I going to put on that bet? And that's the key to making your pick, right? I think education is the key to all performances, of all success. If you go into your bet with a clear mind and you feel you got great fundamentals in that pick, hey man, I think it gets you to the winner circles more often than not. All right, today throughout the show, you're going to hear me talk about A, B, and C-type teams in the rain report. A-type teams are teams with a 60 or higher win percentage. B-type teams are 50 to 59.9. Those are your medium type plays. Those are your moderate public confidence plays. Medium rewards, right? And C-type teams, you know my rules about C-type teams.
No, you don't do that.
No, you don't do that. No. Why not? Because they have a record of 49.9 or lower, and that's why I don't like betting on C-type teams. I will bet the odds C-type team with beer and pizza money, but more often than not,
No, you don't do that.
I don't do that more often than not. All right. Also, I'm going to talk about bullish, neutral, and bearish teams in the REM report. You know, a lot of people will talk about, oh, that team's on a 3-game win streak, 5-game win streak. I look at it different. I look at it through cycles, right? Because it's a long season. It's a very long season, and you got to look to, is the team going through a good cycle? And I'm going to talk about that today. It's going to be a hot button topic with Ross probably, but I'm going to talk about, we're getting to the halfway point in college football, and I'm going to talk about, you know, we're at that point now. It's the tipping point. Hey, Malcolm Gladwell's book, The Tipping Point. You know, some teams are going to go up, some teams are going to go down. Which team is, they're at the tipping point? You know, the 3-win teams, right? Teams in college football at the 3-win mark, where are they going? Where are they going? I think Purdue's maybe one of those teams. They're at the tipping point. I think they might go up, especially with Charlie Jones as a receiver, right? All right, bullish, neutral, and bearish type teams. And let's talk about the top 10 commandments of the REM report. And whoa, hey, there we go. Top 10 commandments of sports betting. Thou shalt not bet big money on C-type teams in the REM report.
No, you don't do that.
You don't do that.
Oh, no, never, never.
Why not?
Against the rules.
Never lay points, take the points, or bet the money line or the over-under. Create your own number. It's your number against the bookmaker's number. Follow a disciplined money management system. That's very important. Never force a pick because you need action on the game. Yep, you don't do that. Never chase losing bets on a bad day, bet with your wallet, not your heart. NHL favorites coming off a 1-goal loss. Let's keep an eye on that. 60% since 2011. Never bet against A-type teams who are bullish at home.
No, you don't do that.
You don't do that.
Oh, no, never, never.
Why not?
Against the rules.
24-hour rule of betting. Take a day off after a big win and enjoy the win. And also, rule number 10 of the 10 commandments, never bet on teams who are in a bearish cycle. Let them work out the cycle and hopefully get you back to a neutral or a bullish state. All right. Also, if you go to the website and you want to see more betting tips, all you got to do is go to the tools, and this is all free. Go to tools, golden rules of sports betting right down here, golden rules of betting. Scroll down, and then if you go right here, I got more betting tips. Click on this. It's going to take you to this next page. I got a little bit of a video here, and there's a lot of betting tips on this this page right here. Hey, you know what? If you are new to sports betting, this is the page that you want to spend. It's going to take you some time, right? But making money takes time. I say it all the time. You know, when people come into sports betting, they're new. What do they want? They want the grand slam. They want the home run. There's nothing wrong with a single. Take a single. Hey, the odd double. But just all you got to do is live for another day. Hit those singles. Get on the REM report. Get on the sports betting tips. Educate yourself about what's going on in the markets. And hopefully we can win you some money here on the REM report. All right. I see Morning Ron. I like Justin Fields over 200 passing yards. Commanders secondary is struggling. As Joe Namath would say.
Struggling.
Yeah, that's the Chicago secondary right now. All right. What's the weather in Chicago these days, Where's our Gloria K? Where's our weather girl there? Gloria K giving us an update on that weather in Chicago. All right, let me see here. What do we got next on deck? We talked about, oh yeah, let's go and feed the ponies. Get him in. Get him in. Yep, they're off and running today at Belmont, the Big A, $20,000 maiden claiming race, 12:35 post time today at Belmont, and it's 6 furlongs on the dirt. Now, if you're wondering today, how come it's Belmont? I thought Belmont stopped during the summer. Well, Aqueduct is going through renovations, and that's why it's called Belmont at the Big A. And now you know the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey would say. All right, 12:35 p.m., 6 furlongs on the dirt. I'm going to recommend the 6-4-7 in race number 1 today at Belmont at the Big A. Number 6, Tequila, with Del Davis in the saddle. Number 4 horse, Gracefully Wild, with Carmouche in the saddle at 31%. The last 100 races in the money, 31%. And the number 7 horse, Free Chickens. I tell you, these horse racing guys, they kill me. All right, Free Chickens with Manny Franco in the saddle saddle, the number 7 horse, Free Chickens, and your Joker's Wild is the number 5 horse, Madam Rose. Hey, Madam Rose, Castillo in the saddle. Madam Rose, 20-1 morning line. And you know what? I'm going to go with Del Davis. I like Del Davis, and I'm going to take the number 6 horse, Tequila. And if it doesn't kill you, Tequila will kill you. You don't want to be drinking that crap. The number 6 horse, 6-1 morning line. And also, if you're going to bet the number 6 horse today, Tequila, here's what I recommend. If you got a $20 budget, put 10 to win, 10 to place on Tequila. Hey, Tequila. Hey, it reminds me of a good story, but I will get to that another time. 6-1 morning line on Tequila. And again, if it comes in first, you get paid twice. Comes in second, you get paid once, which is also nice. And hopefully Tequila will come in today at Belmont. Inside joke, that's why I'm laughing, and all my friends are probably laughing with me. All right, let's get on with the next segment. And the SBI, the Sports Betting Index, the SBI. I need a good stock market segment for this one, right? I need like like a ticket tape. Let me see. I don't have a good. How about this?
I want winners.
All right, we want winners, as Mike Singletary would say. SBI, the Sports Betting Index, and let's go to NHL just starting. MLB, pretty quiet night in the Major League. Only 2 games last night. 1-1 for the favorites and underdogs. Same thing with the over-unders. And, the SBI, when it comes to playoff, to me, the SBI, the Sports Betting Index, is a gauge that I use during the regular season. And with the NHL just starting, we've got low volume games. So you can see right now in the NHL, only a handful of games. In fact, let me see here. So far in the NHL, 66% of the favorites have won so far in the National Hockey League, 33.8 for the underdogs. So, so keep an eye out on that. Hey, big night for the over last night. 5-1 to the over after a little bit of a hot start to the under. So you can see the over is cashing in right now last night in National League hockey. Some good games last night. Some good hockey games. In fact, Montreal beat Toronto. You had, let me see here, Boston. A little surprise, that with Washington opening night, and you go with Darcy Kemper, and boy, that 3-0 lead. Hey, worst lead in hockey is 2-0, but 3-0's right up there. All right, let me see here. Like Justin Field. All right, where's the bullpen? You guys still awake out there? Hey, I need more interaction from our bullpen here. What should be the question of the day? Maybe the football game tonight. Who do you like? Let me do that one. You guys had it last night with Atlanta. Who do you like today? And let's go with, that's the wrong box right there. Let me do this. All right, poll question of the day. Who do you like? Commanders? Pick 'em. I gotta learn how to write Commanders. There we go. Pick 'em. Or you like the Bears? The Bears. Pick 'em. And let's see what the audience likes here tonight. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. I'll see what the audience says right now before I give any of my. I don't want to give my thoughts because sometimes I feel like I'm leading the audience into, then I don't get a good read of the public feel, right? All right, let me see here. What do we got next on deck? We did okay. We got the NHL and NBA preseason. So let's do that right now because in 12 minutes, Ross the Boss Benjamin will be joining us at the top of the hour, and Ross is going to talk about 2 games going on this weekend. He likes the game between the Colts and the Jaguars. And he also likes NC State against Syracuse, that game there. So we're going to talk about NC State against Syracuse, Jacksonville at Indianapolis. Those are the 2 games that Ross the Boss Benjamin will be talking about. Somebody has to win this game, huh? Pass for me. I'm out of Pepto-Bismol, says Brent. Yeah, this is a Pepto-Bismol game, right? Get the Pepto out because you might need it tonight. All right, let's go to the computer picks and let's get the hockey for tonight. Let me do this. And if you go to the website and you're wondering, okay, how does he get all these, how do I get that dashboard? You go to your dashboard right here. And then from here, if you want the computer picks, this is like the Cole's Note version of the game. Hey, this is, then go NHL, and you can see all the computer picks right here. All right, the Pittsburgh Penguins -400 tonight against Arizona. Arizona had a horrible year last year, and but they got a good head coach. I like Andre Tourigny, good coach. And then looking at tonight's probable starting goalie, you got Vejmelka going up against Tristan Jarry for the Pens. A 61.5% chance of winning tonight on Pittsburgh, 32.5% for the Arizona Coyotes. I tend to agree with the bookmaker here, but I'm not laying 400. Ottawa Senators taking on the Buffalo Sabres. You know what? I'm looking forward to see how Buffalo plays this year. I know they got rid of Eichel last year, but this Buffalo team, they played a little bit better at the end of the season, so it's going to be interesting to see how they compare tonight. But look at that, the bookmaker making the Ottawa Senators. The Senators got a lot of big names, right? They got some young guns, and I'm here in Ottawa. The only thing I'm a little concerned from Ottawa, it's the back end, right? The defensive line. The defense is that's my question mark. Is the blue line? The minus 125. 6 is the total. A 53.7% chance of winning tonight for Ottawa against Buffalo, who's got a 40.9. And looking at the probable starting goalies, the one thing in hockey is that, you got to go to these websites. There's startinggoalies.com, there's RotoWire, there's all these websites that give you the probable starting goalie. And if they don't have that green check mark, like yesterday, right? There was a couple of changes. That's why I don't want to, give out a pick yet, because I got to know who's in nets. That's a big one for me. Right? I told you guys, right? Ask any hockey player, either beer league or, play junior A or play in the NHL. When you put the starting goalie, everybody's okay on defense. As soon as you put in the backup, it's as if, hey, you played the left wing lock or something. Hey, remember Jacques Lemaire's trap? But yeah, so Forsberg probably against Anderson tonight in Buffalo. I do like Ottawa, but I'm going to wait for a confirmation on Anderson's going in nets for Buffalo, so I'm going to see about that. New Jersey taking on the Flyers. I don't know where the Flyers are going to get all their goal scoring this year. Minus 132 is the line. 5.5 is the total. Looking at the Devils, a 3-2 victory here. A 56.1% chance of winning today on New Jersey, compared to 45.54 the Flyers. The probable starting goalies, Vanacek, remember he used to play in Washington, and Corey Hart. Hey, Corey Hart. I wear my sunglasses at night. I know it's Carter Hart, but it reminds me of Corey Hart. Hey, remember Corey Hart? I wear my sunglasses at night. You might need sunglasses today in Philadelphia if they don't get some goals on the board, right? Hey, you want to hide out of the building. All right, OG Wheats in the house. Hey, let's go. Hope everyone's doing great. Good morning to my guy, Coach. Good morning, OG from the ATL. I'm sure OG's in the tip-top shape this morning because his Braves won last night. We didn't see OG after the loss, though. I don't know if we saw OG after that game one, eh? Oh. No, wrong one.
Holy cow!
Hey, I'm just ribbing you there, OG. All right, let me see. Panthers against Allen. That's going to be a good game. This is probably one of the games of the night right here. You got the Florida Panthers, a minus 135 favorite. They got some new additions. I can't believe they got rid of Huberdeau. Huberdeau now in Calgary. 6 is the total. I got 3.4 to 2.3 favoring the Panthers. The probable has got 2 good goalies going here tonight, most likely. Bobrovsky and Sorokin for the Islanders. And 81.8. Wow, that's a high percentage to play right there. And 41.6 for the Islanders. That's gonna be a great game. I got a small lean to the Islanders. I don't know. There's something that tells me that the Islanders might be the play here. Washington taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto coming off. You know what? Toronto looked flat last night. And I told you guys, hey, Matt Murray, he was here in Ottawa. I know he was in Pittsburgh. Whenever I see a traveling goalie like this, it always worries me, right? But I don't understand. Okay, I get it. They played tonight against Washington. They played last night and in Montreal. And they went with... last night in Montreal, they went with Matt Murray, and then they're going to Samsonov tonight against his old teammates, right? I don't know. I'm one of those guys. If your number one is ready, put your number one in. This the coaches in the NHL now. It's load management. Hey, I think Kawhi Leonard put load management in every league right now, because why wouldn't you start your starting goalie? Back in the day, I know, hey, get off my lawn, you kids. They sound like, in 1932, Jacques Plante started for the Montreal Canadiens, but start your number one. Eh? Everybody wants your number one. The reason why he's a backup, that's the reason why, there's a reason why your goalie's a backup goalie, right? To me, I think if Samsonov was ready, you play him last night, but the Leafs looked super flat last night. Matthews didn't look good. Marner showed flashes. They just didn't look good. Nylander, I love Nylander. I think Nylander is such a great player, but I think I think Nylander could be a really like a top one forward on a team where he's not overshadowed by Matthews and Marner, right? I think he needs, if he wants to be get the big paycheck, I think eventually he'll have to go to a team that needs a number one, right? I think Nylander's a really good player. 2.8, 3.5 for the Leafs. I think the Leafs come back tonight. Toronto's a different team on home ice. I don't know what it is with home ice with the Leafs, but I think Toronto get the job done tonight. And Samsonov going for the Buds. New York taking on Minnesota. What another great game. This is going to be a good game. The Rangers coming off that big win against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay team, it's always a good team, right? Tampa Bay is consistent. New York Rangers at home, they're like the Leafs. Very tough to beat at home. And looking at tonight, I forgot to give you the probable for the Washington game. Lindgren. Look for Lindgren. I don't know if Kemper is going to go back-to-back, but we'll see. Tonight, you're looking at Igor Shesterkin against Fleury. See, Gallant gets it, right? Player number one. 54.2% chance of winning for Minnesota. Minnesota, hey, the one thing with Minnesota, and I showed you guys this here. I'm going to show you guys again. Let me go to the my NHL chart right here. Let me bring this. If you ever want to see the coach's record and the NHL, where is it? Oh, wrong one. Is it the wrong? No, here, right there. I'll tell you, in Minnesota, Dean Evison, look at his win percentage at home with the XL Energy Center. 68% overall record, Minnesota, Dean Evison. He wins 68% of most underrated coach, I think, in the NHL, Dean Evison. All they do, and when you look at Minnesota, they don't have these high superstar names, right? Obviously they do it all with gold, now that Talbot's gone, but they do it a lot with defense. Hey, I tell you, the Minnesota, they're a tough team if you want to beat them on home ice. A 54.2% chance of winning tonight against 38.8. And you know what? Is this a flat spot for the Rangers off that emotional, high-octane offense win? Well, even though it was a 3-1 win, they got some power. Mika Zibanejad missed an empty netter for the hat trick, right? That was interesting, but you know what? It's going to be tough for the Rangers tonight, but I don't know. I'll have to give that one some more thought. Dallas taking on the Nashville Predators. Now, the Preds played overseas, those 2 games against San Jose, and they got the win. They got 2 wins, and tonight they're a 135 favorite against Oettinger and the Dallas Stars. I like Oettinger. I think Oettinger's a really good goalie. And a 41.6% chance of winning tonight for Dallas, 60.9% for the Preds. The Preds also pretty good on home ice, but Dallas we'll see here tonight, minus 135. Man, these are a lot of really close games that I just don't have. I don't have my full research done on these teams yet. I'm gonna have to do some more research. That's why you got to follow me on hockeypicks.com, right? Colorado, Calgary, a little bit of a shuffle change, right? You got Huberdeau in, Kachuk is gone, and now Kadim Kadri's there. Kazim Kadri. So Calgary, a little bit of a makeup change right there, but still a good team. And Colorado, look at that, a road underdog. You're defending Stanley Cup champions, a road underdog in Calgary tonight, and we don't know what Calgary is yet, right? You lose a lot of good players, and we'll see what happens. But Johnny Hockey's now gone to where did Johnny Hockey go again? Johnny Gaudreau, was it New Jersey, or I think it was New Jersey, right? So going to be interesting to see here tonight, this game. I like Colorado. Chicago taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. Chicago only got 17 shots last night against Colorado. You want to win hockey games, you got to put some rubber on the puck, right, on the goalie, right, on the net. You got to get shots in the net. Colorado could be a
Struggling.
Yeah, it could be a struggling season. Vegas Golden Knights winning 4-3 opening night in Los Angeles. A 57.1% chance of winning tonight against the Chicago Blackhawks. And minus 360. Yeah, we'll take a pass on that. And you got the Kings taking on the Seattle Kraken. Kraken losing 5-4 yesterday in the Duck Pond. And LA Kings trying to get maybe win number 1 tonight as a 192 favorite. That's a pretty chalky. That's a pretty chalky line right there. 192. Might have to lean with Seattle in this one, just on the value price, right? All right, let me see if my good buddy Ross Benjamin is in the house yet. Let me see here. Start collab. No, I don't think he's in just yet, but we'll wait for Ross the Boss Benjamin, and he'll be joining us very, very shortly. And looking forward to talking to Ross about some of those games. So those are the NHL games here tonight. We only got 2 NBA games this evening. I don't know, how did the picks I gave you guys yesterday, the computer picks, were they any good? Did they win? I'm not too sure. I wasn't able to track them this morning. I got Memphis 108. I got Detroit 103 tonight. You got the Grizzlies, a 5-point road favorite. 214.5 is the line. 211 is the total, and we got a 52.08% chance of winning for Memphis. And we got the Thunder taking on the Spurs. We got a 109 San Antonio, 107 Oklahoma City, and we got the total landing on 217.5. So we do like it to go over the total at 215 in the hook, and we have a 75% chance of winning here for the Thunder compared to 63.6 for the San Antonio Spurs. All right, let me take a look here if Ross the boss is in the house. And just waiting on the boss. Hey, let me see here. Do I do that? No. All right. He'll be on very shortly. Maybe I'll check my messages. Maybe make sure he's not having any problems. No. Okay, we're good there. So, hey, Ross likes to make a big entrance, eh? All right. Let me see if I got. All right, let me see if you guys have any questions. Let me see what you guys are saying. I knew game 1 would be shaky with the public, says OG Wheat on us, but I like last year more because we were underdogs. Now we are the target, coach. Yeah, hey, you know what? Ric Flair says it all the time, right?
To be the man, you gotta be the man.
Yeah, Panthers traded Huberdeau, Uyghur, and Schwint, and picked up Matt Tkachuk. That was a lot. I thought that was a lot. Does Ross handicap NHL? Yep, Ross does NHL. Actually, Ross is a good NHL handicapper. Yeah, so Ross does NHL, but his NFL is kicking butt for sure. All right, let me see here. Let's hopefully he's got the. Let me just take another look here. Okay, I gotta. Hopefully he's able to come in. I'll check my my messages. Make sure he's at no. Yep. All right, so he'll be here in just a few minutes, and when Ross comes in, we'll get back to it. You know what? While we wait for Ross, let's do this. Let's take a look at some of the computer picks for college football, and let's take a look at some of the games. Yeah, hey, you know what? I know I gave out the Raging Cajun last night as a lean. That wasn't a pick. It was nice. Hopefully you guys were able to pick that. I think it went under also, right? Tonight you got the Baylor Bears taking on West Virginia, the Mountaineers, and the Bears, a 3-point road favorite. The over/under at 54.5. We do like Baylor here on the computer pick. 29-25, and look at the Cal, the chance of winning the percentage play, 47% for the winner. It's not even 50%, so this is going to be a good game between the Bears and the Mountaineers, and we do have West Virginia winning at 37 point, let me see, it's 37.9. All right, let me see if my good friend Ross the boss is in yet. No, hopefully I gave him the right link. Hey, and maybe, let's see here, Ross the boss. Check my messages. All right. So we'll just keep waiting on this. Let me see. Nope. All right, we'll get to the other game. Let's go Temple against Central Florida. All right, so we minus 23.5 is the line, 46.5 is the total, and we do like UCF here tonight, 32-10. The over/under landing on 43.6, so we do like it to go under the total. Looking at Temple's last game, a 24-3 loss to Memphis, and UCF 41-19 win against SMU. A game, I think that line was like 3. So Central Florida really beat them up on that game. And just take another. There he is. I'll show Ross the boss on stream. Hey, where's
To be the man, you gotta beat the man.
I don't know if you can hear. Can you hear that, Ross?
No.
No, you can't hear the sound. It's the Ric Flair. To be the man, you got to beat the man. Okay? Yeah, because you are the man when it comes to NFL right now, Ross. You are absolutely. I saw your post yesterday. Number one, you're the number one picker in the NFL, and I don't know where it was, but hey, how you doing, by the way?
Hey, I'm doing good. How about yourself, Ron?
Yeah,
How about the Ottawa Senators and the Buffalo Sabres tonight, buddy.
Yeah, no, that's going to be a great game. I'm looking forward because I said Buffalo finished a little bit stronger last year. They gave a little bit of confidence to their fan base. And you know what? I'm really interested to see how Buffalo's going to act this year.
Yeah. Well, I like what's going on there. I mean, matter of fact, yesterday they just extended Donnie Granato's contract, the head coach.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, he still had 2 years left, and that tells you how happy they are with him and how happy they are with Kevin Adams as well, the general manager, who's done a great job after inheriting a mess. And they really have a surplus of young talent right now. Like you said, they 16-8-4 to end the season last year, ended up fifth, a distant fifth. At that in that division, but Ottawa, I mean, it'll be a sure test for them tonight because Ottawa's going to be a much improved team this year with their offseason acquisitions. Ron,
yeah, it's unfortunate that Talbot's injured, like our goalie, so it looks like we're going to go with Anton Forsberg tonight. Not sure, maybe Anderson for the Sabres, but you know what, Kevin Adams, I remember him as a player. And, some of these guys, when they, good career, but, they get into the head office and, wow, he's doing a lot of good work. Like, you look at the young GMs, I think he's doing a fabulous job in a small market like Buffalo, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got to give Terry Pagula and Kim Pagula credit because they went outside the box for this one, because usually teams, when they're looking for a new general manager, are bringing in somebody with either they're an assistant general manager, they were in some kind of administrative role within the hockey department, and former GMs. How many of them have we seen recycle over the years? And they took a lot of heat when they hired Kevin Adams because all he was he was working in a minor capacity within the Sabres organization with no general manager experience. And lo and behold, it looks like a nice hire at this point. We'll see if things continue to develop in the right direction.
Yeah, no, it's been a good week one of the NHL. A couple of games, like last night I watched that Montreal game against the Toronto Maple Leafs. That always makes me happy when you beat the Leafs. It's just an Ottawa thing, and I always rib our Toronto fans out there. But you know what? There's one player I really like, and he reminds me. Remember Mats Naslund of the Montreal Canadiens?
Yeah, they're a very small guy.
Yeah, very small.
25. He was about 5'7" and 160 pounds.
Yeah, Cole Caulfield reminds me of Matt Naslund.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
that's a great comparison.
Yeah, no, he's a fun player to watch. All right, Ross. Before we get into college football, I know you want to talk about NC State against Syracuse, and then we're going to talk about Jacksonville, Indy. I was talking at the top of the show, and you know what? I'm just gonna make sure that people can hear you because with these these shows, I just want to ask the audience, how's Ross's level? Can you guys hear Ross? Can you guys hear Ross? Because I just want to make sure. Can you guys hear Ross? Just want to make sure your decibels are good. Great call on that. Okay, can you guys hear Ross? Ross is the boss. Hey, they love Ross, the boss here. But I think your levels are good. All right, so I was thinking about this yesterday, and going through all the college football games, and there's a few teams didn't have a great start. And when you handicap college football and you see those teams that don't have a good start, but what's the old saying in coaching, right? It's not how you start, it's how you finish, right?
Right.
Is there a couple of teams out there off a few slow starts that you would think you might want to watch going now? I'll give you two teams, and you let me know if these are teams that maybe you would classify as that, like teams to watch down the stretch. I think Purdue might be one of those teams.
Yep.
And I think Buffalo.
Yeah. University of Buffalo?
Yeah, the University of Buffalo.
I mean, they got off to an 0-3 start and lost to Holy Cross, for crying out loud. And now they've won 3 straight. And the most unpredictable, and I've told you this before, Ron, we've shared this discussion on a couple of occasions. The most difficult conference for me to handicap in college football is the MAC. For that very reason. You get teams that just look horrible, and then all of a sudden they turn it on. So, and Purdue, I wholeheartedly agree with. I mean, you look at their losses, they lost 35-31 at home against Penn State, who's now a top 10 team. And they lost by 2 to Syracuse. I believe it was 2 or 3. It was a very tight game right down to the end. Matter of fact, Syracuse scored with less than a minute to go to win that game. And Syracuse right now is undefeated at number 18 in the country, and so is Penn State, top 10 team and undefeated. So, yeah, and you saw what they did the last couple of weeks going on the road and coming away with wins. So I really like their quarterback, Aiden O'Connell. He's a really, really good quarterback, and something to keep an eye on going forward. The one team I will mention, too, that falls in that category might be Texas, because they started out 2-2, and you look at their losses. They lost 20-19 at home to Alabama as a 18-point underdog, a game they played them dead even and had a chance to win. Matter of fact, they had the lead late in that game before Alabama scored late to take the lead. And then, the other game they lost was at Texas Tech. Now, Texas Tech's not a top-rated team, but it was 37-34 in overtime. It is a rivalry game. And they've bounced back with a vengeance the last 2 weeks, especially last week, 49-0 over Oklahoma, their heated rival.
Yeah, no, you know what? Oklahoma, the thing, and we talked about this before, when you get new head coaches who are coordinators, it's a different world. Like, it's just people like, Venables, I know, is there at Oklahoma now. And now that you're in charge and you're doing press conference and you're talking to parents, you're talking to players, like before he was like, talk to coach, I got to go watch film. You know what I mean? It's not like that anymore. It's like, how am I supposed to watch film when I got to do all this administrative stuff? And this is why when I see coaches be a coordinator and a head coach, I scratch my head and I just shake my head going, you have no idea what you're doing. Like, you're hurting your team. Like Paul LaPolice in Ottawa here, I know it's CFL, but he had too much on his plate. And it just, I said at the beginning of the year, I said, this is going to end bad for us. And look at us, we're 3-14 or 4-11. But hey, you know what?
I mean, Andy Reid might be the exception to that rule, but again, I don't know how much Eric Bieniemy is really calling the plays there. Yeah. When I'm looking at Andy Reid, looking at his sheet and always talking into the mic, I got to believe he has a major input in the play calling, right, Ron?
Oh, yeah, and here's the thing. When you got these, and we have the same thing with Dave Dickinson in Calgary, here's what bails those guys out. Hall of Fame quarterbacks, potential Hall of Fame quarterbacks. When you got great quarterbacks will bail you out, right? Like, I know right now Mike Tomlin's getting a lot of, because the Big Ben's gone and they're struggling. When you lose your Hall of Fame quarterback, it takes time, man. It takes time because the quarterback is the general on the field. He's the one who's leading the offense, and it's not just the offense. It's the tempo, it's the environment, the culture that they're setting as an offense, right? It's huge. But getting back to this this thing I was talking about, Ross, teams that we want to watch now. It's October, right? It's getting a little cooler. It's this. Every loss now could really hurt your bowl placings. And I'm not going to go through all the 3 win teams right now, but I'll mention just a couple of them, and you tell me if they're on the.
Let me just add this in. I was going to say Oregon as well.
Yeah, exactly. Oregon, that's a great one right there. But okay, so here's an Auburn, a 3-3 team. Are they going up or down? Hey, we'll do like the stock market. Down. There you go. Ross DeVos gives us a thumb down. Hey, you know what we want here? I know you can't hear our sound bites. Eh?
I want winners.
I don't know if you heard that. I want winners.
Yeah, it's very
very low.
Yeah.
Okay. Auburn. Yeah. Okay. So how about Wisconsin?
Yeah. Down.
Down. All right. Yeah. The Baylor Bears.
They're on the rise.
On the rise. All right. Let me see another one here. Texas A&M, a 3-win team.
No, I mean they'll end up being a bowl team, but far from the expectations they had going in.
What about the Fighting Irish, Notre Dame?
They're getting better. What's really improved is their quarterback play. So, I'm watching the game last night, Ron, real quickly. I'm watching this Marshall game last night, and they're playing Louisiana Lafayette as a 10-point favorite. They lose at home, and I'm scratching my head. How did Notre Dame lose to this team?
Yeah.
But it shows you in the last few weeks they're gradually improving with that new head coach, Marcus Freeman. Good for him.
Speaking of new head coach, Wisconsin.
Who they going to hire? I don't know.
Yeah.
I would say that the favorite would be Jim Leonard, their defensive coordinator. I think that he's due for a good opportunity, and I think he'll get it with Wisconsin.
And the last one, Ross, Iowa State.
Iowa State is a weird team. I was just handicapping their game against Texas this week. This is a team that really they're great defensively, but they can't score, and that seems to be an enigma in the state of Iowa
Yeah.
because their heated rivalry with Iowa. The Hawkeyes are in the same boat. Very limited offensively, but great defensively. I would say in a conference like the Big 12, you're not going to get much better than you are, if anything, get worse with that formula.
Yeah, and didn't Iowa State play TCU a couple weeks ago?
Iowa State, I'm trying to think.
I think
here.
so. I had them. I think it was a TCU, and we lost. They had a chance, but it's just the inconsistency of Matt Campbell, right? It's just Matt Campbell. You want to see him, like, you get these jobs and you want his name be involved in the big next job, right? But you got to beat those conference rivals. You got to beat the TCUs. You got to beat Oklahoma. You got to beat Texas. You got to beat those teams, right? All right.
Yeah. Well, in his defense, he's had to replace a 4-year starter at quarterback in Brock Purdy, and
true.
I think if he has any fault in the equation, is he didn't set anybody up as a backup, that was ready to take over, because look, they scored 11 points in each, 11 points or less in each of their last 2 games. And you're not going to win at the Big 12 in the Big 12 with that anemic of an offense, Ron.
No. All right, let's stay in the same ballpark, Ross. Let's talk about NC State, the Wolfpack against the Syracuse Orange, the 5-0 Orange. Dino Babers getting these guys all fired up this weekend against NC State. Now the bookmakers making Syracuse, whatever you can get line at 3.5 or 4. I don't know what line you got.
I got 3.5.
3.5, and 41.5 is the total. And I think this is going to be a great game. Syracuse off to a really great start. Hey, some big wins this year. You look, they beat Virginia, Purdue 32-29, and Louisville, first game of the year, 31-7. And you got NC State coming off a win over Florida State and losing by 10 to Clemson. What does Ross the Boss see happening this year? This week,
this is a very intriguing matchup, Ron, and what was the tiebreaker with me is the emotion that Syracuse figures to have. This is the first game since 2001 in the Dome and in Syracuse where 2 top 25 teams square off.
Oh, wow.
A lot of that had to do with Syracuse, right? Because they weren't ranked for many of those years, but lo and behold, here they are, number 18 in the country. They're facing a number 15 team in the land. The lower ranked team is a 3.5-point favorite. I think it's justified, especially when you consider Devin Leary, the star quarterback for North Carolina State, who absolutely torched the Orange last year in Raleigh, got hurt last week. And he had his arm in a sling, and trying to get information about the readiness of a college football player being a main player like a quarterback it's easier to get information from the CIA. It's not like the NFL. They don't have to disclose their injury report, nor go into detail of the extent of the injury like the NFL does. So it's an expected sellout crowd. And if you've ever been in a game in the Dome in Syracuse, they call it the Loud House, and that's for good reason. NC State, as you alluded to, coming off a 1917 home win against Florida State that improved their record to 5-1. The week before that, they lose to Clemson. So they played 2 ranked teams in a row. Well, Florida State was ranked at the time they played them. And now they go to Syracuse, not knowing if they're going to have their starting quarterback or not. And coming off back-to-back tough games, as I just touched upon. And they're facing a 5-0 Syracuse team who is playing with rest as well. Syracuse's last game was against an FCS opponent. It was a real laugher, 59-0 over Wagner. They had last week off. And the Orange also coming to this game, like I touched upon, playing with revenge from a 41-17 loss at North Carolina State last week. Here's the thing. Anytime you have a college football undefeated team and they're a favorite of 3 or more, and they're playing after game 5 of the season, and playing with revenge, all under the heading of Syracuse, and they're facing a conference opponent who's coming off a straight-up win, and that conference opponent has a win percentage of 666 or better. Those undefeated favorites of 3 or more have gone 23-4 against the spread
Oh,
since
wow.
2001. I'm going to take Syracuse here, Ron, minus the 3.5 to make a statement against the NC State Wolfpack.
Wow, yeah, you know what? I like the pick. And you said it right there when they're coming off two tough opponents in Clemson, Florida State. And I can tell you, when you come off two big games like that, you're beaten up. You're beaten up, especially in the trenches. And I expect Syracuse will just, maybe, try to beat up the box, like beat up the linemen, and maybe with an established running game. But I love the pick. I think that's a great pick. And Syracuse, like you said, I've been there a couple of times. It is a loud building, and those fans, and then they're at the tipping point. Remember we talked about the show. Those you're at that tipping point now. A win now, just the momentum keeps going. I love the pick. I'm with you, Ross. I like Syracuse.
Not only that, a win just about assures them a bowl. They'll be eligible for a bowl game, which is news with the Oranges. They haven't been in a bowl game for a few years now, and really tough stretch of games coming up, the last 7 games. So they'll be challenged. And Ron, these are two of the better defensive teams in the country as well. Nobody would listen to me a few weeks ago when I said, watch out for Syracuse, especially if you can catch them as a dog. But even as a small favorite in this spot, I'm on them.
And even from recruiting point of view, Ross, the thing is, you win these big games, and then the bigger the bowl, it's easier to recruit. When you go to a big goal game.
Yeah, and to make a point that you were making earlier is Dino Babers really has given full throttle to his offensive coordinator that came over from Virginia, and it seems to be paying dividends. So
awesome.
Your point is well taken.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying.
I'm with you, Rod. I'm gonna hold the rope and ride the bus with you on that one. All right, let's switch it to the NFL. Let's go to the you like that one? Hey, the crazy analogies on the Raymond Report, right?
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, Canadian guys got more phrases to make me laugh.
It's my grandmother. My grandmother's had the best one-liners. All right, minus 2.5 Indianapolis Colts against the Jaguars. Jaguars last week, I guess you can say a little bit of a disappointing loss to the Texans, 13-6, and for Indianapolis. I think people are still sleeping from that game, 12-9. hey, hopefully people woke up. Hey, game's over. You can go home now. All right. All right, so you got the Colts going into this one. This will be a 1:00 kickoff against Jacksonville. What is Ross the Boss like in this one?
Well, Indianapolis, big time revenge here. They lost both games they lost the last 2 against Jacksonville. One of those losses came on September 18th, as this will be their second meeting of the year against the Jaguars, and that was 24-0 at Jacksonville. And if you remember last year, Ron, all Indianapolis needed to do was win their final regular season game to be a wild card team in the AFC. And they went into Jacksonville as a 14-point favorite and lost that game 26-11.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, they weren't even in it. So talk about big time revenge. Now, yes, the recent struggles against Jacksonville are concerning. However, the last 4 times these teams played in Indianapolis, the Colts came up on top each time and won by 10.7 points per game. And this is an Indianapolis franchise, Ron, that's 46-14 straight up in their last 60 division home games. And when you're laying just 2.5, those straight up numbers take on additional value considering the low number. And Jacksonville, like you said, coming off a 13-6 home loss to Houston last week. And that was a Houston team that was 0-3. And they're 0-2 straight up in ATS in their last 2 games. Is Jacksonville even more concerning than that mini funk they're in is during those 2 losses, a -6 turnover differential. On the other hand, this is Indianapolis, who's coming off a 12-9 win at Denver in that thrilling game that Ron was referring to. And here's a NFL betting angle that I have on this game. Anytime you have an NFL team like Indianapolis that's +2 to -2.5, +2.5 to -2.5 in terms of their point spread parameter, and they're facing an opponent coming off a division loss like the Jacksonville Jaguars are. They lost last week to Houston. those NFL teams that are plus 2.5 to minus 2.5, like Indianapolis, have gone 9-0 straight up in ATS since 2016. That's good enough for me. It puts me over the top. Not the sole reason why I like the game, but a culmination of reasons that lead me to say take Indianapolis minus 2.5 at home over Jacksonville.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ross. I'm looking at the schedule for the Colts. Texans in game one. Texans, they had the Jaguars, the Chiefs, the tough Chiefs, the Titans, the Broncos. There wasn't a great, that's a tough schedule right out of the gate, right? Especially the Chiefs at home.
The Chiefs, so it's like their toughest game was against Kansas City, and they won that one. But they tie to Houston. They get shut out at Jacksonville. They need some consistency, and I think it starts at the quarterback because Matt Ryan, quite frankly, Ron, at this point, has not played well.
Yeah.
And, you can't – I got to believe that he's going to turn it around and get on the same page with Frank Reich at some point. And it might be this game here.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ross. 100%. All right, buddy. Hey, you know what? I was showing the people your record at the beginning of the show. What a great start you're having. And, I'm not surprised, right? Because this is what you do, and you've been doing this for many, many years. And, folks, I'm telling you, if you guys want to just get on a winning track and try to if you want to give a handicapper a shot, this is the guy you want to get on with in the NFL. You can see last week he had the Raiders on Monday night, Cincinnati, Washington, a tough loss, could have won. Chicago Bears over Buffalo. Ross, a great start to the season. And folks, if you want to get Ross's picks, Ross, where can they get your picks for this weekend?
Well, I would encourage you to go to atsstats.com, and Ron will give you the instructions after I'm done talking exactly how you can get my picks there. But, folks, off to a 21-10 start in the NFL. Good for 68%. We're currently ranked number one at Sports Memo. Sports Memo, by the way, is a sister site of Wager Talk, so it's all under the same roof. Also, highly ranked on every site I'm on right now.
Yeah.
If not at the top, right near the top in the NFL. So a dream start in the NFL. I'll have 4 to 5 picks again in the NFL this week, in addition to tonight's game. I have a winner, Washington and Chicago. You can get it right now at atsstats.com. I would encourage you folks to go to my website, rbwins.com. I do YouTube videos every day with some really good handicappers from across the country, 5 days a week, all free picks. Check me out there at my homepage, rbwins.com. You'll see all the videos there. You could also buy my subscription plans there, as well as Ron's site. So, folks, if you're watching this program, give it a shot. 21-10, 68% over 5 weeks. I don't know if I'm going to continue at that pace all year. That's a tough pace to keep up, but I do know that I'm going to be a winner at the season's end. And that includes right through the Super Bowl. Invest some money. Instead of gambling your money, invest with somebody who knows what they're doing, like myself and Ron.
Yeah, and when you get a handicapper like Ross and we're on the show, I don't need to go in Herb Tarlick mode because I don't need to sell anything. It's just the records speak for itself.
Yeah.
And it's just you sit here and you can tell people until they like I say, hold the rope and get on the bus and kick the tires and try it. They will see for themselves, right? And I think Ross, if people would just just give it a shot, give it a chance, and they will see they'll be very happy with your selections at the end of the day. And yeah, man, so happy you're on this show because you bring so much information. You're getting a lot of love here in the bullpen. You're getting a lot of thumbs up, Ross the boss. So hey, a big hit, Ross. You're a big hit here with the Raymond Report to Army. So I always appreciate you coming on Thursday. Thursdays are fun, right? If I can make Ross laugh on a Thursday, then
I'm telling you. Yeah, Ron, you can make me laugh if I'm on an own 16 street. So, and like I say, with the 21-10 in the NFL, folks, like I like to say, look, numbers don't lie and liars don't figure.
Yeah.
So.
And with that, hey, Ross, have yourself a great weekend, and we'll talk about your next Thursday, how the weekend went, and hopefully all your winners are yours this weekend, and hopefully it's sunny and sunshine over there. It's raining here in Ottawa.
It's raining here. It's raining here. So anyway, Ron, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And to all the folks out there, good luck and God bless, folks.
All right, that's Ross Benjamin, everybody. Thanks for coming on, Ross. And again, guys, you can get Ross's picks right here on the website at atsstats.com, or you can get it also on the Ross's site, rbwins.com. And so Ross likes Syracuse -3.5, and he also likes the Indianapolis Colts. So I agree with both picks. I think that Syracuse game, and the thing I can tell you from coaching university football, anytime you play these big Division 1A football teams like Clemson, Florida State, and you play we call the biggies. Hey, anybody who knows football knows what the biggies means, right? The big guys in the trenches. You get beat up, and it takes sometimes. You can ask anybody who's played offensive line, defensive line in Division 1 football. It takes maybe a couple days to recuperate from a weekend of pounding, right? So I like the pick, and hopefully it turns out to be winners for you guys here today. All right. That was Ross the Boss Benjamin, and I love the selections. And again, you can always get Ross's picks right here at atsstats.com. Go to picks, go to Ross Benjamin, and you can see his record right there. All right, let's get on with the show. Let's get some Allen Iverson time here.
We talking about practice, not a game. We talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that?
No, it's not silly at all, because we are talking about the 80% club stats. And let's see if we got any good 80% club stats today in Major League Baseball. Got a few games. The over 12-2 for the Guardians as a pick into 120 road underdog after a conference game the last 4 years. The Astros, the Astros love Thirsty Thursdays. Look at that, 20-4 on a Thirsty Thursday the last 2 years. And let me see here. Let's do another one for the, there we go. Astros 13-3 as a 140-160 home favorite versus division opponents the last 2 years. And let's see if we got any good NFL stats for this week. In fact, you know what? I'll save the NFL for tomorrow. I'll save the NFL for a NFL football friendly Friday, and we'll give out our stats and trends today. But check the website today. I'll take the top 10 NFL trends and I'll put them right here on the website. And speaking of the website, let's go to the top sports betting options in NFL for this week. You got the Chargers coming in at number 1 against Denver. Chicago, look at that, number 2 betting option against Washington tonight. And then you got Baltimore against the G-Men right there, -5.5. Those are your top 3 sports betting options right here at atsstats.com. Don't forget, you can get my hockey picks for tonight at hockeypicks.com. I'm on the fence on a few games, but I gave you guys my leans earlier on. So if you missed the show, go watch the replay. And I talked about the tonight's games. But if you want to get my hockey picks tonight, the last couple of years been one of the top scorers right here at Hockey Picks, so you guys know what I can do with the little puck action, right? All right, there you have it. That is the show today for a Thirsty Thursday, October 13th. Ross the Boss Benjamin was on. It's always great to have Ross, eh? Ross brings that calmness to the show and that pearls of wisdom. And let me see here. Colts, the Bears, Gloria K. Got to give my good friend Gloria K. How's the weather in Chicago, Gloria? We were asking earlier.
Put that coffee down.
Coffee's for closers, and Gloria K is a closer. And let me see how the weather is. Timmy Two Shoes in the house. How you doing, Timmy? And Seattle Astros under 5 for Timmy Two Shoes. Telly 21-10 record. That's impressive. Yeah, Ross is. Just go look at those sites that he talked about. You'll see his record right there. And so hopefully it's nice and not too cold tonight in Chicago between the Commanders and the Chicago Bears. All right, that's the show. That's a wrap. And we'll be back here on a football-friendly Friday. And hopefully you guys have yourself a great rest of your evening. And
Hello again, everybody. Harry Carey from Wrigley Field on a beautiful day for baseball. To be the man, you gotta beat the man.
Joe, own the Chiefs.
Owns. I don't know.
Struggling. Can we have fun? You're damn right. I demand that we have fun.
Put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only.
Straight cash, homie.
Holy cow!
It's a dog-eat-dog world, Sammy, and I'm wearing milk-bone underwear.
What the hell's going on out here?
Woo! If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
That's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Cold said so.
Let's go to eat a goddamn snack.